Guys, how's everybody doing today? I'm really excited. It's kind of an honor to be on these calls nowadays. I can remember when uh, me and Jamil first started these, they were on a phone, like an actual phone you'd call in, and you had to hit the, star pound for recording, star pound for logging into the right call. But it was kind of fun. And then now we're on video chat where I really can't see you guys, but I know you're there. So I'm excited. My name is Justin Avini. I'm what Optavia calls an integrated global director. I've been coaching about 6 years. Well, I shouldn't say about 6 years. It's over 6 years. February 4th was my coach anniversary. And I'm just blessed to be here. So I'm going to wait like one more minute for this thing to kick on. For all you on Facebook, really excited to be on here. But I think the biggest thing we want to talk about today is one, sponsoring. And the reason I start out with that early is I want you to kind of paint a picture of what that looks like. Because as I share my story, maybe it can be important for you. Maybe as I share my story, you can start to think of people that have nothing to do with weight loss. We are not a weight loss company. For some of you that are maybe newer, if you're in this March Madness series and you're brand new, welcome. Welcome to challenge yourself. Welcome to push yourself. Welcome to be inspired. Welcome to be changed. March Madness is an amazing series. We've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years now. I can't even remember. And so just really think about people as I share my story. So my story, like I said, starts 6 years ago. And actually 6 years and 7 months, if you want to get technical. When Jamil first approached me, you got to remember he was semi-green too. So he went the path of making his list. And one of his people on his list was my girlfriend at the time, now wife and mother of my children. Second one on the way. Maybe might even happen right now. We don't know. So I might have to bail on you guys. Just kidding. But he reached out to Jenny and he said, Justin's into health and fitness and he'd be amazing at this. She shared her struggles with us. Our relationship was suffering. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week. I was emotionally drained when I got home, didn't want to talk, which most relationships, you got to try to talk to each other and be successful in that to understand communication, which is a lot of stuff I didn't even know back then. How did Jamil know I was into health and fitness? Well, through mutual birthday parties and friends. And over the years, we became friends because every time I'd see him, I was a fit guy. I was the butterball in high school. I was the opposite of the high school athlete and all that stuff. And I made the decision coming out of high school, I was going to be the fit guy. Started exercising on my own, doing things like that. So he would ironically, hit me up and say, hey man, what kind of supplements you taking? What kind of exercises you doing? What do you think about this? Every time we go to a birthday party or hang out with that group of friends, he was always chatting it up. So he reached out and told Jenny, he said, hey, Justin would be amazing at this. This is a great opportunity for any of you guys that are out there in the fitness industry of any sort. You'll know that it's a pretty big struggle, even owning your own gym. It's a pretty big struggle as a trainer or anything like that to make a decent income or survive. So I just did it kind of as a hobby. Friends would come along, like, what are you doing? I'd kind of, give them an idea of what I ate. I just ate salads. I look at food as a fuel, not as a celebratory thing, just how my mindset is. So it was very simple for me to just say, yeah, eat a lot of salads, exercise, man, let's go. And that never really worked out. That never worked out for Jenny even. Jenny, unfortunately, was a very heavy yo-yo dieter. We've been together for years. We've been married for 5 years yesterday. But we've been together, I think, 14, 15 years now, if I look back. But through that time, I couldn't even help her lose weight or get the weight off. And that was a big question Jamil asked me because my ego kind of kicked in when he hit me up about this, and we actually started chatting. And it took me about 7 months to show up. Yeah, I didn't show up the same day. That doesn't necessarily happen every time, guys. But he reached out to me and said, hey, this would be a good idea for you. And I said, yeah, but I don't need this spaceship food. I don't need these packaged foods. I can get a 6-pack on my own. I'd kill myself in the gym for 4 months before the summertime. You'd always have your winter coat. But one of the key things he told me is he said, well, can you help Jenny lose weight and keep it off? No. And it was a big argument. Not going to the river, not going to the beach, not hanging out with friends because she didn't feel comfortable in her own skin. And so when he told me that, I was like, Then he also told me, he said, you hate your job. Your boss is a jerk. You work 60 to 70 hours a week. And it's true. And as a construction guy, and Josh Bomba had to correct me on this as my story, because we always want to better our story, was, as a construction guy, I was a driver for the company, not just a foreman or a supervisor, but I was a driver. You're supposed to get paid for your drive time. So I'd work 60, 80 hours a week, and I'd only get paid 40 to 45 hours. Going to the yard didn't count. Picking people up didn't count. Dropping people off, picking up trailers didn't count. And that just wasn't fair. And so the thing with that I was just struggling, man. I was tired. I can remember a Christmas Eve. My boss is out at the Glamis having fun, $100,000 sand rail, $300,000 motorhome. And I'm on the phone with him arguing because I'm trying to do payroll on Christmas Eve at 6:00 when I'm supposed to be at a Christmas Eve dinner. Still had to go back to the yard and go drop the trailer off. And I had to pay everybody. So it was just constantly things like that. And these are all just going in my head as we're having this conversation. So, days went by. I finally called Jamil back and I said, all right, man, I'm done. There's that construction lingo, and then there's that demeaning lingo. And there's one day we're just up on a roof and my boss just starts laying into me, you dumb, this and that, all this stuff. And to hear him at the river, he used to take me to the river, and that was the way he would, supposedly help me be excited is, I'll just take you to the river and spoil you for a weekend. You know what I mean? But the thing is when we get back to the job, I'd be getting yelled at. I'm like, I was with you at the river. Like, I can't have control over these guys. And so it was just a constant mental struggle. And so one day I was like, I'm either going to throw this dude off a roof, because I was a roofer at the time, 5 years. I got a $3 raise in a 5-year period. So I was making $15 an hour, and his deal was, well, I just bought you a truck. Well, I didn't own the truck. I couldn't drive it after hours. So, what kind of psychological warfare is this to just keep a guy pinned saying, I bought you a truck and I gave you a $3 raise because you're pretty good at, running a ship and all this stuff. Like, who lives off that? Right? So I was done, dude. I was like, I'm either going to throw this dude off a roof or I need to figure something out. And guess who popped into my head? Because he planted the seed, Jamil. And I called him, and we don't recommend this by any means, but for me, mentally, I didn't understand you could build this. Maybe now looking back, and I'm actually saying this for the first time, is I didn't understand you could build this while still working, but I also didn't think I could mentally, because I couldn't even talk to Jenny after work. I was just burnt out, man. I don't want to talk to people. I'm done getting chewed out all day. People not doing what you're trying to have them do at work, and it's your fault and all this stuff. So just emotionally damaged. I was just done. So I quit my job. I was all in, literally. I threw everything on a credit card. The program, I didn't understand. It was a wash with eating habits. I bought the coaching kit. I don't even think Jamil knew I was going to buy the coaching kit. We just talked about me trying the program out to understand it for my clients. I did at one point say, dude, I could sell this. I'm fit. Like, people ask me all the time. But he really said, look, man, you need to understand that this is, one, not just a weight loss program, but two, you need to understand this for your clients. If a client's saying something like, oh, well, on day 3, I feel like this, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know. Let me call my coach, because I don't know. I've never done the program. So it made sense to me. I'm like, all right, I'm all in, man. Day 2 and day 4, I did go into the gym. He yelled at me for that in a nice way. I shouldn't say he yelled at me, but he said, look, man, go home and call people. Tell them what you're excited about. Ramp this thing up. You know what I mean? Summer's around the corner. I started in February. And so I was like, all right, I give it up. You can't work out with that many calories anyways. So I just was like, okay. And so all of a sudden I'm in fat burn. I'm off 2 and 3 energy drinks a day. I'm off 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day. I'm running around slinging my hammer on day 4 like I'm on something. My boss is like, dude, what is up with this guy? Like, I felt amazing. So it was a big mental shift for me. Now I'm like, I got to tell people about this because this is awesome. And what's cool about my story is I was more of an ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Like, now we have verbiage, we have systems. We did back then, but I was so new to everything. I was more like, well, what is it? Well, it's a meal plan. Well, what is it? I don't know. It's some kind of program where you're going to just get into fat burn and feel great. Well, what does it do? I don't know. You're going to get shredded though. That's all I know. You're going to get shredded. Like, just saying all these weird things, right? Things that we probably necessarily shouldn't say. One of the things that I struggled with was Facebook. I hated Facebook, and from what I understood of it, which was probably the people I was hanging around with, maybe, I don't know, it was drama. It was always drama. Facebook is drama. People post drama stuff, which I know today not to be true if you follow the right people, right? And so I didn't want a Facebook. I didn't have a Facebook. Jamil came over to my house and he did the whole thing with the mouse. I was like, so how do we get this thing started? And he said like this: click, 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 friend, 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 friend. And then it would warn you, you know this person? And then he says, okay, you got to leave it alone because there's too many friend requests out. Another thing I struggled with at the time, we have this script for the program. And I was nervous to do a call. Jenny was going to go in the other room and I didn't want to do this practice call. I was like, him and Han, he's at my house. He was only supposed to stay till like 10. He ended up spending the night, because we're friends first, foremost. Spence and I were up to like 1 a.m. doing practice calls. Jenny's in the bedroom. I'm over here. And so I started getting the practice calls in. We had a different script back then. Now we have the health assessment. Back then we had the script. And so I started getting my bearings. And my goal was to make about $2,000 a month. When I quit my job, I had about $10,000 in my savings account. I was really good at saving money because I didn't want to spend it at all. And so I was just all in. And so we figured it'd take me about 90 days to start making the $2,000 a month. Another thing, I didn't know how to use a computer. I didn't know how to send out emails. I got multiple texts from Jamil saying, look, man, you can't send out emails to people with everybody's CC'd to everybody. That's going to annoy people, which I got some messages, but you know what? Live and learn, right? One of the funny stories I'll share with you is I actually posted on somebody's timeline. Hey, Stubby, call me. I'll never forget that because I didn't know how to use Messenger. I don't even know if Messenger was on Facebook back then. I can't even remember. But I literally was ignorance on fire. And so I was going to birthday parties with people's kids and them just to hang out and get this out there. I didn't even have kids, but I was hanging out. People are pouring ranch on their pizza, and I'm sharing my story about how I'm on this program. And, there's people out there that knock it. And I say this because it's important to know. There's a lot of us that go through adversity when we start this. There's a lot of people that, oh, that'll never work out. Oh, it's spaceship food. Oh, it's just like this. It's just like that. I was going through all that. I literally had a buddy pouring ranch on top of a piece of pizza, eating it. Like, how's that bar taste? Maybe are they friends? I don't know. Do I talk to them that much anymore? Probably not. But the point is, though, is you go through those things. So I'm out sharing. I'm doing all this stuff. I didn't know how to use a computer. I didn't know how to use a smartphone. I had a flip phone at the time. I could tell you, Josh loves this line, Josh Bomba. I could tell you how to take a house apart and put it back together. Technology was not my strong point. Meanwhile, I'm building this business. But the main thing I was worried about was talking to people. That's all I was worried about. I didn't have my lists. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. I had my lists, but I didn't have my follow-up lists, my checkoffs, my binder. I didn't have all that stuff in order. I was just talking to people. Why? Because that's what brings energy, and that's what brings people in. So I was more of ignorance on fire. And I started signing on people. And I figured, well, if I do these action steps, and I have no job now, by the way. My first week, I'd come home at 7 p.m. I did my Facebook launch while I was at work. Jenny actually responded for me on a couple of them, started scheduling calls for me at the beginning. And I'd come home from 7 to midnight. I was on calls. Hey, bro, you never believe it. Remember this and that. Still saying the wrong stuff. You'll get shredded. Just try it. Just try it. You know, the part that I think got me to be encouraged about sponsoring people is I came into it strictly for the business. Did I need the physical? Yeah. 2 and 3 energy drinks a day, 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day. Probably would have had a heart attack by now. 37. I think I'm still young, but I technically not really. I'm starting to move up into those areas. But last 6 years, imagine that. 3 energy drinks a day, because there's people out there like that. 3 energy drinks a day for the last 6 years. It's like pouring race gas into a car that only needs 87. And you're just, yeah, let's run 110 in there. And maybe a little over people's heads, but that'll blow your motor up. Point is, after a while, a regular Honda with 110 in it, it will blow the motor up. So that's the same as humans. Last 6 years, I'd be like that. Not to mention, I'd probably be 70 to 80 pounds overweight. Why? Because I'd want to buy a home. I want to have a vehicle that could keep my family around. Half of what I have today, would not have it. I can guarantee you that right now. I would be 70, 80 pounds overweight. Why? Because the gym would fail. I'd have to work more hours at $15 an hour. Let's just say I got $20 an hour, $25 an hour, whatever that looked like. Bills pile up, right? The mental space I've learned with this would not be here. So I wouldn't really know how to maneuver life, how to respond to, probably wouldn't be with Jenny, flat out. I'm just telling you right now. That wouldn't have worked because still would have been pissed off, would have got even more pissed the more hours I would have had to work. Maybe I would have found somebody else and maybe I'd have a family. I don't know. But the point would be is I'd be in construction. I would be 70, 80 pounds overweight. That's just a given. So the thing with that is I don't know much more than this program saved my life. That's all I know. And so anyways, I came back. Let me back up a second. I hit the ground running, talking to anybody and everybody. I left the gym, started calling people. I made my list. The old school way for some of you newer people was you get in your phone and you call people. Not the 3x3x3, which is good. But that's if you don't know anybody and you've exhausted your warm water. Your warm water is right here. So word of advice, this is how I brought on 28 clients in 30 days. This is how I made $3,100 my first month of coaching. Why? Because you don't have to get into the conversation to then how to talk to them, to then maybe move it to the phone, to then that takes 2 or 3 weeks. This was straight, hey, you want to hear something exciting? I don't know if you knew this or not, but dude, I just tried this amazing program. I quit my job. Oh, wow, you quit your job? That's kind of stupid. That'll never work out. Well, hey man, if you know anybody, I'd love to send you some information. All right, send it over. Another guy. Hey dude, you quit your job? Yeah, bro, I'm going to be a full-time health coach now. Bro, I need to talk to you about that. I don't like where I'm at. There's a David Harrison, right? Who needed to lose 100 pounds. I didn't even talk to him about losing the weight. Why? Because when he becomes a coach, what's he going to have to do? Try the program, right? Then the next person, John DeBay, comes to my house. Dude, you quit your job? You're doing this full time? Yeah. There's another coach. And so on and so forth. And the sponsoring mindset begins. Why? Because I came into this not for the physical. Did I look at David Harrison right away to need to lose 100 pounds? No. I looked at him as he needed a business as a single father, and he was stressed out. And then in turn, he lost weight and got healthy and changed his life, right? So these are things we want to talk about as we're doing this. And I'm kind of sharing my story and I'm spurting things in here because I really want to get the wheels spinning on what this can look like for people that maybe they're 50, 60 pounds overweight. Why are they 50, 60 pounds overweight? It's not just their eating habits. It's their life. It's what's going on around them. It's what's going on around them. It's called finances. It's called stress. It's called not being able to sleep. It's called making poor decisions because they can't afford healthier foods, or they can't afford the time to prep foods, or they can't afford time to sit down with their family. They work 2, 3 jobs. They work 100 hours a week. They don't know any better until you come along. I didn't know any better until Jamil reached out, right? So let me get back to my story. So like a weekend, Jamil says, look, man, you keep talking about this program with this packaged food and all this stuff. He says, you need to really understand this program. I need you to go to an event. And I'm like, an event? What's that? Where's that at? And he's like, well, it's up in Utah. It's like, it's coming up in a week or so. I think a week or so, because it was my second week of my 2-week notice or something like that. He's like, it's coming up. And I'm like, I just spent $556 or whatever it was back then, $552 on food and a program or a coaching kit. And you want me to spend what money to fly where with what money? Like, I had $10,000 in my savings, but that was for rent. That was for getting by till this thing took off. And he's like, look, man, if you want to see this bigger than just dieting or helping people lose weight, you need to get to this event. And I luckily was sitting in a room, in a living room with my great grandmother-in-law, rest in peace. And she goes, you seem pretty serious about this because you quit your job. She's like, I'll lend you the money in a shorter conversation. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, why not? I'll lend it to you. So I borrowed $372, flew up to Salt Lake City, was mind blown. There's over 4,000 or 400 people up there, 4,000, that's convention. 400 people up there that I don't know, that are all caring, that are all interested in me, that are all asking me questions. Why are you here? What do you like to do for fun? What do you want to get out of this weekend? And they're just sitting there listening. What made you decide to be a coach? No interruptions. They're just interested more than interesting. We talk about that a lot. And I'm just like, all right, I know I've already bought the coaching kit, but I'm going to hold off on drinking the Kool-Aid because these people are weird. They're way too nice. I don't get it. And out of 400 people, like a couple people here and there, and I'm just sitting there waiting for those people that are like me. And I don't mean like me as I'm a mean person, but I'm more about me, right? Oh, this shirt I'm wearing, one up. I wore this shirt 2 days in a row. One, it's early in the morning, and I haven't showered yet. It's okay. But one up. You know what one up used to stand for me? Is somebody would tell a story, and then I would have a better one. That was the joke of this shirt. We had a little crew that would go around when we were in high school, and I was always that guy that, oh, well, I have to be the cooler guy. So let me tell a better story to be liked. That's what one up stands for. Look at that. How funny is that I'm wearing this shirt today? I'm telling the story. But the point was, I wasn't used to these people being, hey, where are you from? What do you want to get out of this weekend? It's exciting to meet you. What's your name? I'm used to the California hi. Hey, I'm Justin. Nice to meet you. I'm out. That's it. So as I'm learning this, I'm really starting to understand that there's a reason I'm at this event. Walden Long was a motivational speaker. He was an amazing speaker. Really inspired me to be who I am today. I think that shifted the trajectory of where my mindset was big time. Kim Fisk is an amazing person. She has more energy than probably 10 of us on this call at one time. Very go, go, go. But the thing is I really changed my mindset. Why do I layer it that way? Is because events change your mindset. You see the bigger picture. You resonate with people. Your coach, you may not 100% resonate. They may be amazing for you. You may be excited that they invited you. You may be so thankful that they coach you and mentor you. But there's that other person, that other single mom, that other hardworking dad, that other construction worker, that other getting ready mindset. And they had a shift, and now they're actually talking to people instead of alphabetizing their list, right? They're actually picking up the phone or calling people instead of checking off, well, this person, I'm going to prejudge everybody. So this person's skinny, this person makes a lot of money. Yeah, they don't want this. They just get into action. All of a sudden you have this shift. So anyways, I got back, I hit the ground running. That following week, like I said, I brought on 28 clients in 30 days. I was mind blown. Like, wow, this is awesome. In fact, I was so not tech savvy that I called Jamil my third week, and I'm like, hey, bro, like, we talked about this. I'm supposed to start getting paid. Like, what's going on? And he's like, what? You haven't got paid yet? It's like, no. And I lived in apartments for those past 3 or 4 years. So I set my mail to go to my mom's house because I was never at a set place. So when I signed up for coaching, I put it to my mom's house. So what's funny is about 3 days after I had this call with him, he's like, did you set up your direct deposit? I'm like, bro, technology, come on. Like, what is that? Like direct deposit? I'm being real with you guys, 31 years old. What's direct deposit? I was a cash on, cash off construction guy. You get paid on Friday. Who needs a bank really besides a savings account? What's that look like? That's it. That's all I got, direct deposit. So he's like, let's set up your direct deposit, man. That's how you get paid. 3 days later or 2 days later, my mom calls me. She goes, hey, you got a check here from Optavia? And I'm like, and at the time, it was Take Shape for Life, TSFL. And I'm like, really? Open it. She's like, well, it looks like a check. You want me to open it? I was like, yeah, open it. One was like $800. The other one was like $600. And then another one was like $1,200 in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks. It's like over $2,000. I'm just like, what? And then a couple more came. I'm like, this is rad. I didn't even get out of my pajamas one day. Wasn't even on a roof getting yelled at. Wasn't even getting sunspots on my body from being out in the sun all day. Wasn't having to smell like fiberglass and sunblock. This is rad. Got a computer, got my phone, been going to people's parties, hanging out, talking to people. And I got like, I think, whatever, $3,100 roughly that I can remember. Right? My first month. I'm like, I didn't even have to dip into my savings account because I got into action. Looking for people who are looking for me. So, what do I have today? Well, I was able in the last 5 years to purchase 2 homes. I think that's kind of cool. I'm not sitting here telling you this to gloat, but I never in my life would have imagined doing that. My family told me, well, you know, buying a house is cool. You kind of probably, we plan on buying another house, but they were kind of just stuck there. Why? Because finances. This was our stepping stone house, but they were stuck there now. I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to have a bigger house for my family. I'm going to start to add to my family. So I was able to upgrade. I was able to buy my favorite truck, diesel truck. These are things that relate to me. This is what I was excited about. I was able to buy a boat. When I said, when I hit global director, I'm able to buy a boat. When I hit integrated national director, I wanted to buy a truck. I paid $9,000 cash for a truck, my own truck, not my boss's truck, my own truck. I paid for no payments, and I had my own truck. When I hit global, we had our baby, went global, and I bought a boat all in the same month. It's kind of cool. But those are my goals. I have all those things now. Those are my exciting things for me. Those were things that Jamil, at 6 months into coaching, I wrote down on a napkin at breakfast, the Monrovian breakfast we have. And I was kind of in my head like, oh, well, you know, I am making some decent money. And he has said that this will happen if I do this. So let me write these things down. Wasn't 100% thinking I was going to get them. But over that next year, I got them. Amazing. I was able to move further from where my job was. I had to pick my house because of who I had to pick up in the morning because my drive time didn't count for my boss. So I'm like on top of where I had to live to be able to pick these guys up. So when I got off work, I had to drop them back off, go to the yard. I had to live where that was. Now I live wherever. Moved out to an area, newer properties, excited, things like that. All because of some weight loss program? No, not to mention I lost 18 pounds. Did you realize I didn't say that at the beginning? I don't think I did. Nope, I don't think I did. Jenny, yo-yo dieter, she lost 22 pounds on this program. You know what she's been able to do with that? Maintain it for 1 year and 8 months up until we had Charlotte. Right back down to her pre-pregnancy weight within 90 days after the baby. Maintain that up until she got pregnant again. And probably right back down. But before that was 30 pounds in the wintertime, lose it 30 pounds in the summer. If she would lose it 30 pounds in the summertime, for 8 years she did that. For 8 years. Because of this program, because of the knowledge, because of the accountability, because of the systems, the comprehensive systems, she's been able to keep that up. That's awesome. How does that help? We don't have fights about me physically looking fit and her not, that I didn't even know were fights because I didn't take the time to know that. Why would I know that now? Because we work on ourselves in this business. It's not just weight loss, mental, financial, physical. I take time to listen now. instead of talking 100 miles an hour. It's my time to talk right now. It's kind of cool. But I used to talk. I told you, one up, safety net. Let me know more than you do, so that way you don't get to know me and I don't look like an idiot. So I'm just going to one up, right? Now I listen. I talk to people. Kind of blow my mind away sometimes, like hear myself, if that makes sense. So I say that to say this. I've been blessed. I thought $2,000 a month was going to keep me out of the sun. I thought $2,000 a month would pay my bills for now. When I originally started, that's great. I made $2,700 a month and I was getting yelled at every day. That 27, we whittled it down to what I could survive on to get me out of that job. And I ended up doing it like right then and there. I was just done. And so actually, I think it was like 2 days after I ordered my kit, I decided to just tell Jamil, I'm just done with my job. I can't stand my boss. I'm out. And so I was all in. And now within, I don't know, 7 months, I'm making like $6,000 a month. I'm like, what? Averaging a year and a half, I'm clearing 6 figures. What? Justin, the construction guy, the guy who barely made it through high school because he had ADHD, all of a sudden he's a business owner. All of a sudden he's able to provide for his family. All of a sudden he's able to impact lives and help people. That's cool to be a business owner for you. What other business do you know that we can go and offer this to somebody and help them? I have this amazing floral shop. I have this amazing mechanic shop. I have this amazing tire shop. I have this amazing law firm. Even if you have an amazing law firm and you make good money, you can really only give somebody a secretarial business unless they have to go to school there 7 years. They have to pass the bar. They have to spend $200,000 and they can partner with you at that point, but they're $200,000 in the hole. This business you can offer to anybody. $200. I made $3,100 my first month. What is that in investment? Most businesses fail within the first 2 years, and most businesses don't pay themselves back within the first 5. $200, 30 days later, $3,000. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, well, that's not happening for me. That's okay. Your life is different. Your audience is different. Your community is different. You may have different things you're going through, concepts, struggles. My struggles were Facebook. I had great energy. I could talk you to your blue in the ear, but I didn't really focus on the getting ready part. I love this line because I got yelled at by Becky Flamong and Karen Elstrom finally one day. I think we were down in San Diego at one of the events. I said, excuse my language, but I was a dumbass roofer. Why do I say I was a dumbass roofer? Because what Jamil told me to do, I didn't question it. The only thing I was nervous about was the script. But when he said, go talk to these people, I didn't, okay, I need to make $2,000 a month. I got to talk to these people. And let me think of why I'm not supposed to talk to them. I just went and did it. I wasn't good at systems. I wasn't good at following up. I wasn't good at being organized. But I would just go do literally robotically what Jamil told me to do. Go talk to these people. Why don't you send this email out? I'd post this more. Okay. And I'm blessed to be here today. So the reason I share with you those paths, the 3,000, the 6,000, the 6 figures, I was stoked at $2,000 a month. So what did I do with the $2,000 a month is I started sharing it with people. At $4,000 a month, I thought, man, I hit cloud 9. I was like, dude, this is awesome. I could afford things. I could go get a car payment. I had my little Civic. I was stoked. I could afford to breathe a little bit. Even started getting Jenny flowers here and there because that was a big thing, right? Because I could afford the extra $40 instead of gas money or groceries that week. I could get a $40 thing of flowers. I thought of it, well, they just die. Why am I going to waste money on that when we need gas or food, right? But it was kind of nice to start getting into that stuff. Started saving for a wedding ring because I could, right? The little things that start adding up. was able to feel comfortable enough to have a daughter and afford one, not just get by. That was a scarcity for me. That was a scared thing for me. Like, I want to have one, but I'm just kind of nervous. Like, can I afford this? Right? So that was just me. I've always been like, some things I've been prepared for, other things I'm just wiling out. So when you're sharing this with people, really get to know who that person is before you decide to prejudge them. Most of our friends won't tell you where they're at. They won't. Most people won't tell you where they're at. I got the big house. Doug Wood's story. Furniture owner, got the Navigator out front. It's about to get repoed. He's got the Navigator out front, owns a furniture store, right? That's a lot of people. We have to get to know people. So sponsoring. Most people will not stay physically healthy if their finances are not in order. So why don't we sponsor? Put a 1 in the chat if coaching has changed your life, even in a small way. $200, $1,000, whatever it is. Look at this. So coaching that helped you lose weight helped you financially. Now let me explain why I just asked that. You losing weight is what financially helped you. No. You becoming a coach and helping people helped you financially. So who else out there needs to be a you? Who else out there is on the brink of losing their home? Who else is out there on the brink of divorce because they're focusing on the bills and their surroundings instead of each other? Over 50% of divorce is because of finances, not because of the two people. They may not be bad people. They think they're bad people because they're fighting with each other about the things outside that are finances, that are stresses. I didn't want to talk to Jenny. Getting yelled at all day. Why am I going to come home and have a conversation with somebody and just mentally beat? Most people that go to jobs are like that. Why? Because they're stuck at a certain job. I'm not saying you don't have to have a job doing this, guys. I'm not saying you have to quit your job like I did. Don't. But if you love something and you'd rather do that as a job or a career, this can allow you that opportunity to do that. So who do we know? Who do we know? I got friends right now. I got 3 people. I was telling a story the other day. 3 people that I took to T. Phillips in Monrovia, which was catty corner to the Monrovian, where we have our Wednesday breakfast. David Harrison, John DeBay, and now Desiree DeBay, the new baby. And I had my friend Ben Martinez. Let me tell you about my friend Ben Martinez. Jay, yeah, man. Need to like kind of lower the truck now and sell the tires and I'm looking to go to school now, but I can't hang this weekend because just funds are tight. David Harrison, building a family, got married, has a family vehicle, was able to get his boat fixed, rebuild his motor, is able to have his own place now with his family. He's been taking care of his mom because of coaching. His mom got off of like 16 medications or something. He'll quote me later, but 16 or 18 medications, something crazy because of this. But financially, he's been able to help her. John DeBay, they got married. They found each other in coaching. Kind of cool. They're having a little one. They're saving for a house. They got married. And unfortunately, Ben is still in that race. Not everybody's going to come, guys. Maybe he will. He teases me about it too, by the way. I'm in a guy's chat. And this is their self-defense mechanism. I'm sharing this with you because I'm being real. There's people out there that are just not going to get it. That's okay. It's okay. But it's crazy to me that I offered it to those 3 and these 2 guys' lives, mind-blowing change. And this one guy is still stuck. Jay, I'm getting my low voltage contractor's license. My job's paying for it for me. He's a dad now. They have Avery, excuse me. But he can't do much. I asked him to go out in my Jeep to go have fun, and he couldn't even afford to do that because he had to work. He didn't have to pay for anything, just show up, but he had to go work. Every time I see him, oh yeah, I'm doing this class now, and I'm doing that class now, and I'm doing this class now, and I'm doing that class now. Bro, you're 37. When are you going to start making the money to be comfortable? It's just crazy. They probably fight quite a bit. I mean, I don't know their inside stuff. I don't get into that because I just know where his headspace is at. But my point is I shared this with anybody and everybody, the full trilogy all the time. Well, when is the right time to do that? I don't know. You got to figure that out. But what I do know is I came into this strictly for the business. So my mindset is the business. A lot of us come into this strictly for weight loss. So we think we need to weight loss our finances. Well, this person needs to lose 100 pounds. They'll have an amazing story. That's interesting. When I talked to David Harrison, he needed to lose 100 pounds, but I thought his story was how to pay for his son, how to survive for his family, because he got injured and he couldn't do construction anymore. So he couldn't pay his bills. That was my version of his story. Josh and Michelle Bamba, she was a hustler. I learned through the grapevine of going to her work that she worked nights, he worked days. They never saw each other really. They had a son. She wanted to lose 20 pounds. I didn't even know that. I went to her for the business because I watched her at her job. I'm up here, I'm running the cash register. I'm managing the business. I'm also serving people in my bar section. I'm hustling. I'm on top of it. What do you need? What do you got? Okay, I got this. Delegating to different servers where the foods go, doing stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, dude, this lady's got it, but she just doesn't have the right vehicle. And then she comes on and says, no, well, I want to lose 20 pounds. I don't want to do the coaching. But then there's Mr. Bamba that's like, well, did she order my food? Because I want to know more about the business side. And I'm like, nope. He's like, okay, well, we need to order my food, and I want to know more about the business. My buddy told me what you guys do. And now their lives are changed. I even told them they could quit their jobs. And they said, nah, probably won't do that. I think he's home now. I think he's going on an amazing cruise, leaving tonight. In just 2 years. What did that have to do with weight loss? What did David Harrison's have to do with weight loss? They lost weight because they had to be a coach. You have to do the program to be a coach. Had to. That's a word where I would say had to, not choose to. We talk about, had and can't, but this in the sense of had to, because this program does not work unless you try the program. I don't care if you're 105 pounds. I don't care if you're 505 pounds. Being a coach, you need to try the program. You'll never be successful, in my eyes. That's just my opinion. Not exactly saying I know everything, but been here a while, kind of successful. And I'm not saying that with an arrogance, guys. I'm just saying success leaves clues. Don't reinvent the wheel. So who are we looking for? Who are we looking for? People that maybe they make a lot of money. Do you know why doctors have portable car washes come to their hospital? I'll give you a second to think about that after what we just talked about. They don't have the time to spend the 20 grand they make a month. They're in the hospital 36, 48 hours. Do you know Dr. A walked out of his house that he custom built before he started this? Graduated top in his class out of 150 people, in charge of critical care units, head of cardiology, making great money, but he never spent time with his family. That was one of the things he wanted to change. So he left, drove across the United States to Oregon, lived in a basement for 3 years on credit cards. He lived in a basement for 3 years on credit cards. I want you to hear that, because all of us on here right now, some of us are like, I just can't afford this. Or people can't afford this. He couldn't afford what he did, but he made it happen. There's people out there like him. There's people out there like me. There's people out there like you. We need to allow them to decide for themselves. not write them down. Well, this guy owns a pool company. They make $100,000 a year. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a pool lady that I offered coaching to. She sleeps 4 hours a night. She's 26 years old. That's probably why she can get away with that. But guess what's going to happen over the next 5, 10, 15 years? Yep. Oh, I got arthritis. I can't really sleep well. Starting to put on weight. Makes $100,000 a year. That's awesome. I landed as far as society is concerned, right? $100,000 a year. I own a pool business. No time, no sleep, and you can only do that for so long. So I identified her. Now, she's figuring out what she needs to do. She's super busy. She will eventually show up. She started to show up, but she's just so busy, and that's okay. And I'm just sharing these stories with you guys because not everybody's just like signed up, ready to go, let's go right now. Took my aunt 4 years, 4 different Thanksgivings, 4 different Christmases. She wanted to lose some weight. She wanted to get healthy. She was drinking Red Bulls. She wasn't sleeping a lot. I didn't know any of this stuff, but I got to know this stuff because she became a coach. Guess what? Her job or career that she worked so hard for decided to just up and leave 6 months into coaching. She's a $200,000 a year income earner. Why would I hit her up? She makes $200,000 a year. Luckily, coaching was here for her 6 months in. She was at a position where she could work from home to hang out with her kids, and then her job just disappeared. And I'm just going to be open here for a second. Hopefully she loves me for this. But she started when she was on her birthday, she launched her grand opening. She's 51 years old. At that age bracket, it's probably harder to find a job in that industry because you got these young people that people want to pay half the money to do, or you have to go down to the bottom of the food chain to start going again. So what did that mean? Probably traveling twice a month like she used to when she was younger in this industry, being away from her kids, figuring out who's going to pick them up because Uncle Alex works at JPL full-time, 12-hour days sometimes. Who's going to take care of the kids? You just, in an instant, have to figure that out. But guess what? Thank you for coaching. It was able to work itself out because she had an option. What does that have to do with weight loss? What does that have to do with her losing 10 pounds? Are we a weight loss company, or are we preventative maintenance for people? For a Justin Avini, who was a construction worker, for a Joy. What would her health have done at that point? She's not sleeping as it is. She's on energy drinks. She's grocery shopping at midnight to spend time with her kids when she can. Still at that job, that decent paying job. That kind of money, still no time, guys. Put those people on your list. People that need a vehicle. I worked hard at my career. I worked hard since I was 13. I'll never forget my first job. My dad told my neighbor across the street, Ken, he's like a second father to me. He's like, hey, my son's in wood class and I see you doing all these cabinets. I worked hard since I was 13. He knocked on my door one day after a night of partying. He says, hey, you want to go make some money? I need your help. And I kicked all my buddies out of the house and I was off at 13 years old, off and working. Always was a hard worker, but I never found something smarter to work with. In 6 years, my life has completely flipped upside down, guys. I'm off of energy drinks. I'm able to hang out with my daughter when I want to. I'm able to hang around people that are amazing. I was saying this at breakfast the other day. We're not better than people. We're learning. But our thought process is so much different for the vocabulary that we talk to people with. Inspirational, motivational, concerned, caring. Everybody else is, who can make the dollar? And oh, oops, sorry, I tried. The guy I bought the truck from, I sold my other truck as I was buying this other truck. Thought I was getting a deal. The guy goes, well, we need to make $1,000 on your truck. That's the whole point of us helping you. Well, I found the buyer off Facebook. Yay, Facebook. I found the buyer. I made friends with the kid. He actually wants to be a coach. Why? Because I'm in sponsoring mindset. I asked him why he wanted my truck. This is part of the sponsoring mindset. He loves photography. He loves off-roading. He actually makes money towing off-road parts for people to different races, and then he tries to sell pictures of their trucks in action. That's his side gig, and then he's got a regular job. But that would be really what he wants to do. So I offered him coaching. He needs to lose about 40 pounds. That wasn't even in the thought process when I asked him about why he wants the truck, what's going on, because he was asking gear ratios and things that I'm aware of. Why would you ask what the gear ratio is? Well, I need to tow it. Oh, what do you tow it for? Is that your job? Automatic sponsoring mode. Well, yeah, I make some side money. I tow vehicles for truck racers or chase trucks or whatever. Oh, that's got to be awesome. Well, yeah, but it doesn't really pay to be able to do it. I just like doing it because it allows me gas money and this and that, getting by. Entrepreneurial mindset, but doesn't have the right vehicle. So I'm layering them right now. But my point is, though, is I sold the truck, and I'm talking about our community. The guy goes, well, you sold it through my dealership. We're doing all the paperwork to release your title. We want $1,000. Truck sold. This kid has it. Stuff's being moved, already signed, and I'm stuck. Now, I looked at the glass half full. I just paid the $1,000. Why? Because I can. That's a blessing. Is it a great situation? No, but what am I going to sit there and do? Go to court? This poor kid, he can barely afford stuff. They're going to take the truck back from him. But I can just afford, with that blessing of coaching, this thing, this hobby that people look at, this packaged food, this weight loss. I was able to just pay the $1,000 and be done with it. Kid's got his truck, super excited. One day he'll coach probably. I'll introduce you. His name's Chris when he does come on. But that's the thought process of other people, get or be got. For us, it's how can we help the next person? We have an amazing community, guys. If that guy wasn't a jerk, I probably would offer him coaching because it sounds like he needs it. The guy who took the $1,000, right? I don't want those kind of people. It's just not me. But I'm saying our community is loving, caring, and understanding. Our program is second to none. The nutrients is there. The systems are there. Our financial aspect is amazing. Still haven't seen something to beat it. Been doing this 6 years. I'm a young pup in this business. There's other people in there that's been doing this way longer than I have. But I go to sponsoring mindset everywhere. I didn't know the kid wanted to lose 40 pounds when he was buying the truck. I asked him more about the business side. Why? Because if he has a health goal, guess what he's going to have to do to be a coach? The other thing about sponsoring is it's equity, guys. One mindset is we're not trying to get people to do anything, but we are looking for those people that need this. But as you partner with those people, you build time freedom for yourself. You're not up and down with clients. You're not up and down with your bills because it becomes like that other job. Well, my boss decided to not give me a raise this month because maybe 3 or 4 clients fell off. Now it's like, you barely got by. But as you partner with people, as you help them change their life. Like I said, I was happy at $4,000 a month. But the unfortunate part is if you share this with enough people, zeros start getting added on automatically. The equity part of this is amazing. You hear my stories. I don't talk to people, hey, bro, you need to lose 40 pounds. So, dude, let's chat, man. And then maybe coaching would be kind of cool for you as people notice. There are those people that you want to come at like that. But most of my people are, well, why do you want a truck with gears in it? Or, hey, I noticed you hustle over here and your husband works mornings and you work nights. Like, you should come check out this business opportunity I have down in San Diego. 9 months, I told Josh and Michelle, or I told Michelle through Messenger and being in her job. I didn't know she wanted to lose 20 pounds. I thought she looked fine. But because she becomes a coach or starts doing program, Now she wants to lose 20 pounds. David Harrison, hey man, I just quit my job. Really, dude? Yeah. It's awesome, bro. I'm making good money. It was like $3,000 a month. It was good money to me. I'm not getting yelled at. I'm not out in the sun. I don't smell like fiberglass and sunblock. And I can actually talk to Jenny for 5 minutes on the day she's off. She's going to school for nursing. But that's the point though, is like, I didn't look at David. I didn't look at Michelle. I didn't look at John. They lost weight. Why? Because you got to try the program to understand it as a coach. And inevitably, the more people you help with coaching, you build stability, structure in your business. I'm not getting those people. I didn't get those people to then help me in my life. That's like that weird thing we do. Like, oh, I'm getting these people so I can make money. I was cool at $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. I was cool at $2,000 a month. But the more people you go share this with, the more people you help, guess what happens to you? Your time freedom's there. You're able to go on a cruise for 7 days, and internet's an issue, but guess what? You have an amazing support system. You're about to have a baby. Desiree's like, hey, can you hop on my team call? Absolutely. I'm about to deliver a baby. Hey, we're going on the cruise. I'm not sure if I can follow up with some of my coaches. You mind helping me out? What job do you know do that? Hey, I'm going on this cruise. Can you cover my shifts for me? Yeah, but I'm getting paid, not you. Hey, I got this house that's pending sale. Can you cover it for me? Yeah, what percentage am I going to get if I do that? I'll give you 1.5. Always about them. This community is amazing, guys. This business is amazing. This life is amazing. If you're new to this and you feel like you're struggling, go back to your mentor and find out what you need to do to change it. Do what I did. Don't question anything. I always say it like this. There's a winning lottery ticket sitting right here. This is kind of a silly analogy, but I like it because it flat out makes sense. There's a lottery ticket sitting right here, $1 million. I can give you this $1 million if you scratch the numbers the way I suggest. Or if I tell you to scratch a 6 first, yeah, that's not my lucky number. I'm going to go with 12 first. All right. Well, the next number is 4. Yeah, 4 is, my kid played baseball and he did horrible that year. 4 is not our number. I'm going to do a 9. How long is it going to take you to get that $1 million? Or $1,000, whatever the number is. The point is it helps your life, right? Sponsoring is there to build equity and time freedom for yourself, build stability in your business. But at the same time, we're not getting people to do that for us. We're finding people that need the same thing. Justin and Vinny need the same thing. I work my butt off every day. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I go down to the yard. I do stuff for free. In a stupid job that didn't pay very well. My work ethic was there. My skill set sucked, but my energy was high. I was put in the right vehicle, and now, wow, look at me. And I just say that for you. There's so many people that are in the construction field, in the nursing field. How many moms, that's an amazing career, but how much debt do they have that they have to pay off first? A lot of them are single moms because it's a good paying career that allows them time freedom for their kids. So that's why they pick that career. Good money, a little bit more time flexibility, but still massive debt. Some paid $50,000 for student loans. Others are struggling to find a house. I know because Jenny's been in it. That's an industry I know. But there's so many other careers out there, brick and mortar businesses that people, it may look great and their ego's so high that they're scared to reach out to somebody until you come along. That's why I'm vulnerable on Facebook, man. I share my struggles. I share my stories. I share my being stupid, a dumb ass roofer. And Becky and Karen told me, stop saying that. You're not. You're a very smart kid. I get that. But when I started this, the reason I use that wording is because I didn't fight what Jamil told me to do. I just went out and shared what I was excited about. I quit my job. I had a buddy's dad who still's in construction or still drives a truck. 9 months in, he asked me to do a roof for him. And I said, I don't do that anymore. He's like, well, you're doing that coach thing? That's never going to work out. Okay. He just had a massive stroke and they had to cut open the arteries here. That's how clogged they were from his bad decisions. He calls me, Justin, hey, trying to find Dane. He's got my boat. I'm like, Roy, what's wrong with you? Oh, I almost died, bro. Wow. People fight those habits till the bitter end. That's okay. You love them where they're at. It's okay. I'm getting off on a tangent a little bit, but I want you guys to really understand this is not a weight loss program. This is an equity business. Your kids can have this. You can have time freedom with an equity business if you go find those people that need this exactly like you do. You go find those Justin Avinis. You go find those Michelle and Josh Bombas. You go find those Joy Avinis. 2K, 200K income earners a year. She makes a lot of money. Why would she need this? I don't know. Why don't you get to know her and find out why? Instead of saying on the back burner, well, they make, oh, no, they're good. And our chatter's kicking in right now. No, I know them really well. They're doing fine. They own a mechanic shop or they own whatever. They're doing fine. Okay. Do you really know them that well? Find these people, guys. Make a list. Make a list. I'm going to leave you with this last part. I love this part because this is real and raw for me. This is an unplugged series. That's why we do this. I feel in my heart you're on this series because you want to make good money. You want to help a lot of people and you want to change your life, right? Now there's discouragements that come in there. Numbers. I'm not saying people are a number, but I'm also saying Jamil didn't wait 7 months for Justin Avini to show up and just sit there staring at Justin Avini. So there is a rhythm of numbers. There is a rhythm of numbers. For every 10 we talk to, 1 is interested or signs up. This kind of goes back to your structural tension chart. Work with your mentors on these numbers. If you have a different path, that's fine. But I'm just saying right now, numbers speak. I was a number. Why was I a number? Because Jamil allowed my mindset to figure out when I needed to show up, not talk or sell somebody into this. So there is a numbers. For every 10 people we talk to, 1's going to sign up or be interested right away. So let's do a numbers game real quick. If you want to impact a lot of people, if you need to get out of your situation ASAP, you can change the number if you don't to 5 people a day. But let's just say we talk to 10 people a day. Maybe go back to our phone. In my phone, there's 1,400 contacts. If I wasn't a coach, that'd be 140 clients right away. Why do I know that? Because it's for every 10 is 1. 140 clients. Oh my God, what would I do with all those? Well, space them out. Get into the rhythm. It's going to take you a while to call everybody. Let them know what you're doing. Right? The same thing with coaches. For every 10 you talk to, 1's probably going to come right away and sign up with the layering systems. Your numbers may get better. They may be a little off. Depends what your community is. Depends what your friends base is. Well, community, same thing. Friends base. How introverted you are as a person. Some of that you have to grow through. But a lot of the time, 90% of the time, it's 10 to 1. So let's talk to 10 people a day, 5 days a week. That's 5 clients in a week. That's 20 clients in a month. For every 5 clients, we know historically that 1 will probably show up as a coach because they need it. They're excited about the program. Maybe they don't need it, but they want to inspire other people. Maybe they want the accountability, whatever that is. We don't know that time frame. The time frame we do know is if you talk to 10 people a day in 31 days, that's 30 people, 1 person a day about the business opportunity. That's 3 coaches in 1 month. So 10 people a day for the client side, just reaching out, sharing with them what you're excited about. Your story, like we talked about, share your story. How do I talk to a stranger? You share your story. How do I talk to a friend and bring this up without calling them fat? You share your story. Ask them for people that they know. How do I start a conversation? You share your story. It's your story. Your story, not what they want to hear. But think about this. 10 people a day, 5 clients in a week, 30 days, 1 person a day, 3 clients in a month. So that's 20 clients and 3 coaches in a month. So when you hear Jamil say this is easy, that's why it's easy. If you don't have time to talk to 10 people a day, that's okay. It'll take you a little bit longer, but just think of that number when you're getting discouraged. Think of that number when things are going well. We're great in action when things are going well, but when they slow down, we slow down. Why? Get into more action. I hope this made sense to you guys today. I'm going over. I mean, everybody's gone over, but my point is this. By the way, you know what's crazy is I had a really crazy, vivid dream that I was like 26 minutes late to this call last night. It's kind of weird. I don't know why. And I was like trying to scramble to get on. Josh is texting me, where you at? I don't know why I had to share that with you guys, but it was just kind of a trip. And then I woke up, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was really thinking about you guys to be on this call. But I really want you to understand this is not weight loss. If you came into this weight loss, look at where you're at as a coach now. That's part of your story. Another thing too is you can't talk to somebody about coaching if all you focus on is your weight loss story. Be transparent. I talk about everything about my story. You heard me, I waited till the weight loss at the very end. Why? Because that's not the important part of my story. Your important part of your story, maybe you lost 100 pounds, maybe you're off of 4 to 5 medications, but why did you start coaching? That's part of your story. If you want to bring on coaching partners, they're not going, oh, you lost 100 pounds, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and I started coaching and helping people, and this person's over here like, well, I can't even afford to sign up. Or I'm about to lose my trailer. Or I just haven't made a mortgage payment in 5 months. How is you losing weight going to inspire them to even think about coaching? Until you say why you started coaching. Right? My story was I wanted to make $2,000 a month. I quit my job cold turkey. I'm ready to roll. I want to do this. I was excited because I made $3,100 my month. In the first month, I was just blown away. You want to hear more about this? Oh, you need to lose weight too? Oh, okay. Well, then we could talk about that also. Right? Sponsoring brings you time freedom. You impact a lot more people structurally. You can only take care of so many clients. I told you there's 140 clients in here. Out of those 140 clients, that would be a crap load of work, right? We talk about time freedom and structurally building this. In those 140 clients, there's probably like 35 coaches. Well, guess what? A lot of them are probably friends and family of each other that would know some way to connect. So, or friends. So you would connect them so you have more time freedom. You're impacting more people. You can only talk to so many. Talking to 10 people a day is a good stretch, right? So how much are you going to do that for? Till you go bring on a coaching partner. And then now you guys are talking to 20 people combined a day. And then you bring on 5 coaching partners and they're talking to 4, you're talking to 10, they're talking to 3, whatever their goals are, however many people they feel like they can talk to. Now all of a sudden you're talking to 37 people a day. And then 270 people a day. And then 584 people a day. And then 3,000 people a day. And then 7,000 people a day. Can you talk to 7,000 people a day? No. Can you impact more lives? Yeah. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Please understand that whether you came into this for weight loss, whether you came into this with a business mindset, 2 things I hope you got out of today. 1, follow the system. Be the dumbass roofer. Just listen and go. You won't die. You won't be embarrassed. People are more worried about themselves than they are you. They're going to say where they're at. And 2, we are not a weight loss company. We are not a weight loss company. You may have come in and had an amazing story. It may have saved your life out of a deathbed. I'm very thankful you're still here. Don't hear me the wrong way when I say this. But that story is not going to impact somebody's life who maybe they need to lose 40 to 50 pounds. But as soon as they stop doing program and life hits them in the mouth and they have to start working more hours to pay for their family or sleeping less hours to pay for their family, their health goes on the back burner. How can you fix that? Offer them coaching. Why? Because it creates more opportunity for them. It creates more finances for them. If they need to call in sick one day and not worry about not getting paid, they have coaching. If your aunt loses her job 6 months later because they decided to sell it out from under her, the job she was so loyal to and worked so hard for, she has an option. She doesn't have to go panic mode or fend for herself or gain a bunch of weight or up her energy drinks to 5 a day and sleep 1 hour because now she's trying to figure out how to take her kids to school and find a nanny and travel a bunch. Offering coaching isn't about getting people. It's about stabilizing their own health. Ooh. Hey. Long term. We don't have no short-term goals here, guys. Have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon.